All right, hey CCCH family. I am with Michelle Casini right now. Michelle, go ahead and introduce yourself, your family, and how long have you been coming here to CCCH?
Hi, CCCH. This is Michelle Casini. I have been with Clarendon Hills Christian Church for 7 years now. It's crazy, and the way that I can think of that in my mind is based on how old my daughter is, because I started getting affiliated with everything back right after she was born with MOPS.
Gotcha. And so what's your husband's name?
Oh, I apologize. So my husband is Mario, and
Mario.
my two children, yes, I have two children. I have Grace, who's 7, and then I have Luca, who is 3.5. So we're a family of 4, and then you include our dog, Clyde, and it's a big, happy family.
Awesome. And so just you mentioned already how you got connected first to CCCH through one of our ministries. Why don't you share a little bit about how over the years some of the different ministries have made an impact on you and how those volunteers have made an impact on you and your family and your faith journey with God?
Absolutely. When I moved here to Clarendon Hills, I was looking at different churches. I had gone through a period of life where, I grew up going to a religious affiliated school, but I never really had a strong connection. And so when I got married and had kids, we knew that we wanted to really uh, get connected again and be able to raise the kids with a faith. And it was actually my neighbor who had introduced me to MOPS, Mothers of Preschoolers. And it was initially first just a way to, connect with other moms, have some time out from being a mom and have some real conversations with other women and have breakfast and learn things and hear that other people are going through the same struggles and challenges and be able to learn from them and connect with them. So that's really where I started first initially with my table leaders. I did MOPS for about 3 years. There was actually a friend who became a table leader in my second or third year of doing MOPS. Courtney Holsler, who was used to be at CCH, and she moved now, but she was a really big person that I not only connected with, but really she said something to me that always has stuck with me. And she said that being a Christian and having this relationship with God really helped her just be freed and be able to give things to God that were weighing on her. And that really was something that I had never heard before. And it's something that's really kind of, I think, been woven in my story and how I connect and how I've come to have a relationship with God. So she was really the first person, I think, as a table leader of mine and who became a good friend of mine, who really helped me see that this new journey is one that really has been really kind of organic. It wasn't one that I sought out. It was one, it really showed me that God was seeking me out in different ways and different nudges. And, I just keep taking a little bit more steps as I get closer to him on this journey.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Courtney and a couple other ladies in MOPS get you connected, and so you start in MOPS for a few years. When did your family start coming to church, and what got you even more plugged into church? Who were some of those people that got you even more connected here at CCCH?
Sure. Some things had changed with scheduling with MOPS and I wasn't able to go anymore. And I was really sad about that because I was starting to feel connected. But that's when a new group had started, the Moms Exploring Faith, which Brita had started, and she's been the leader. And I think that at that point, I really started digging a little deeper and started learning more through the Bible. And that was something, even again, going to a religious school for 12 years, never really had learned that way about God and Jesus's life. And so that connection with the support and guidance and really thought-provoking conversation that Brita spearheads in our conversations really gave me the time and the space every week consistently. I think that was what really kind of changed things for me, was when I made that space in my life for that commitment, to go there and to learn, and I wanted more. And so that's when I think right around that time, it was probably about 4 or 5 years ago now, that I started consistently going to church.
Mm.
And that's when I think I really saw that, through the faith and through praying, I started having a stronger connection, and really, the sermons going to church started connecting with me. And it was like, oh my gosh, I needed to hear that today. This is what I need to help me get through whatever I am going through. Oh my gosh, this sermon was made for me. They knew that I must be going through this and needed to hear this today. So it's been a really cool experience.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I think what has stuck out to me is how you've had different people who have spoken into your life, and it really was a way of God seeking after you. It was a way
Mm-hmm.
of God using different people to connect with you. And I loved how you phrased that it like switched in your mind of, oh, God is seeking me. God is pursuing me as I
Mm-hmm.
am seeking him and figuring things out. So thanks for sharing that, Michelle. Last question I want to ask you is, in this pandemic where the need for connection, I think, has arisen in so many of our lives, yet it can't happen in person. It has to happen over Zoom or text or phone call, FaceTime, whatever it is. Why would you say it's so important for us as a church and for people just to stay connected, and not just in conversation, but connected in a way like we normally do, whether it's we're digging into Bible studies, or we are listening to the sermons, or worshiping together, or having these conversations over Zoom? Why is it important to have that spiritual connection with some of these people during this time?
I think in this time, it's easy to hide. You don't necessarily have the day to day. You still have day-to-day responsibilities, but not outside your home. And so you don't necessarily have to interface with people like you typically do. And
Mhm.
so I think there's a lot that could start to bubble up inside, and that you're not necessarily coping with or dealing with.
Yeah.
And you kind of just, push it down and just deal with whatever immediacy things are happening in your house. But I think when you still are connecting, you could be more true with yourself, and really reach out for help when you need it, even if you think it's a small thing or a big thing. We're all going through something, and we're all hurting inside and needing something that, even just a conversation or a phone call or a prayer with a friend, it's going to help. And so if you can stay connected, and keep hearing God's word, and really be open to that in these new ways of connectivity,
Yeah.
I think people will be really surprised with how humanistic it still can be, and maybe even more intimate in a different way.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed that I'll have conversations more one-on-one, which usually wouldn't happen. It might be in a group conversation that I'm having discussions, but now I'm able to have more one-on-one direct conversations to really find out things that people are dealing with and coping with, and so then I can be more sensitive to that, or help them in different ways.
Yeah, that's good. Never thought about it in that way, but it can be a different type of intimate connection that we may not get in person, but it has heightened and increased during this time. So, no,
Right.
great thoughts. Thanks for sharing that, Michelle. And thanks just for sharing your story of the different people at CCCH that over the years have impacted you. And we're so thankful for your story. And I know the impact that so many others have had on so many other people. Your story is unique, yet at the same time, there's many people who have been impacted in many ways. So thanks for sharing that, Michelle. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, and God bless.